Good morning, students. In the surface chemistry chapter, we have discussed already in the previous video so many topics, including physics option. So today we will discuss the next topic, that is called the chemies option. Let's see what is the difference between physics option and chemies option. So in the surface chemistry, so at first is the absorption. In phase absorption process, we have discussed about this is the reversible in nature. Phase absorption is reversible in nature, and phase absorption is exothermic in nature. Phase absorption is exothermic in nature. The enthalpy of adsorption, it is exothermic in nature, means enthalpy of adsorption, enthalpy of adsorption 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole. So it is called the exothermic in nature. Next phase absorption is decreases with increase in temperature. Decrease with increase in temperature, and it is generally occurs at low temperature, and it is non-specific in nature also. It is non-specific in nature. So these things are related to the phase absorption. We have already discussed when absorbent molecules are bonded to the absorbent surface by weak van der Waals forces. This is called the phase absorption. We have already discussed about in the previous video. Today we will discuss about the chemiabsorption. Then after we can easily differentiate between the phase absorption and chemiabsorption. So what is chemiabsorption? Chemiabsorption, when absorbent molecules are bonded through strong chemical bond with absorbent surface. It is called the chemiabsorption. So when absorbent molecules are bonded through a strong chemical bond with the adsorbent surface. For example, let's see, suppose this is the surface and here the adsorbent molecules, and this is the adsorbent molecules, and in between there is a strong force of attraction between this. So it is the chemical bond. It is the chemical bond formed between the adsorbate and adsorbent molecules. So this is called the phenomenon chemisorption, because there is a chemical bond formed between this and this. So next, chemisorption is unilayer or monolayer in nature. Enthalpy of chemisorption is very high. Enthalpy of chemisorption is very high, because we know that whenever the bond form between the molecules, high amount of energy release. So at least 40 to 400 kilojoule per moles energy release during the formation of bond between the adsorbate and adsorbent surface. Next one is the chemisorption is irreversible in nature. Chemisorption is irreversible in nature. Chemisorption is specific in nature. Chemisorption is specific in nature. Specific in nature, because these molecules and these molecules, there is the force of attraction exists, or these particular molecules have tendency to form bond. So these are the specific in nature. So what is the difference between chemisorption and physiosorption? So write down the difference between the chemisorption and physiosorption, students. So comparison between physiosorption means physical adsorption, physical adsorption, and chemical means chemisorption, chemical adsorption. So what is the difference between the physical and chemical adsorption? So physical adsorption, and here I am writing chemical adsorption. First, adsorbate is held by weak van der Waal force. Weak van der Waal forces. Weak van der Waal forces. Adsorption is held by strong force, and in chemical adsorption, adsorption is held by strong forces similar to that of a chemical bond. Chemical bond. Next one is enthalpy of adsorption is low. Enthalpy of adsorption is low and enthalpy of adsorption is high. Enthalpy of adsorption is high, about 400 kilojoule per mole. 400 kilojoule per mole. And in the case of physical adsorption, it is about 440 kilojoule per mole. So about 40 kilojoule per mole. So in this way we can say that enthalpy of adsorption is low in case of physical adsorption and enthalpy of adsorption is high in a chemical adsorption. Process is not specific. Next one is as we discussed, it is the reversible. Means process is reversible, and process is irreversible, and it forms multi-layer. It forms multi-layer, multi-molecular layer. In fact, we can say that multi-molecular layer. Multi-molecular layer. But in case of chemisorption, it forms unimolecular layer. It forms unimolecular layer. And next one is adsorption decreases with increase in temperature. Adsorption decreases with increase in temperature because there was a weak force of attraction, weak van der Waals force of attraction exists in case of physical adsorption. So as the temperature increases, adsorption decreases. But in case of chemisorption, it first increases with increase in temperature. It first increase with increase in temperature because there is a chemical bond form. So activation energy required. So whenever temperature given to the adsorbent surface, so it goes on their activation position. In that condition, their process first increases due to increase in temperature and then decreases So these are the difference between physiosorption and chemisorption. Let's we discuss about the next topic. So next topic is the adsorption isotherm. Next topic is adsorption isotherm. In which we will study about for adsorption of gas Adsorption of gas on solid. So this theory, isotherm is discussion about the adsorption of gas on solids. Means adsorption of gas on solid depends upon pressure. Adsorption of gas on solid depends upon pressure. Pressure. So let's we discuss by extent or amount of adsorption. Amount of adsorption is given by x by m, where x by m and extent means amounts. What do you mean by the extent? Means amount of gas adsorbed by unit mass of solid. Amount of gas adsorbed by unit mass of solid. So suppose let m gram of a solid absorb x gram of gas. This is called the extent or amount of adsorption. So amount of adsorption is x by m, where x is mass of gas adsorbed, which is called the adsorbate, and m is the mass of solid. M is the mass of solid, which is called the adsorbent. So in this isotherm, we will see the variation of amount of adsorption is plotted with the pressure at constant temperature. So in this isotherm, the variation of amount of adsorption is plotted with pressure at constant temperature. So we will discuss by Freundlich isotherm. So types of isotherm is one is Freundlich isotherm, and second one is Langmuir isotherm. But we will study about only the Freundlich isotherm in this particular chapter. So what is Freundlich isotherm? Freundlich isotherm proposed he proposed empirical relation. He proposed empirical relation on the basis of empirical relation on the basis of experiment. What is this? So he proposes amount of adsorption is directly proportional to the pressure to the power 1 by n. P is the pressure of gas. P is the pressure of gas adsorbed. And when we remove proportionality constant, we use for K, P to the power n, where K and n are constant, here K and n are constant, which are dependent on the nature of gas, So the value of 1 by n varies from 0 to 1. Next one, the value of 1 by n varies 0 to 1. Means 0 to 1. So as the pressure increases, amount of gas adsorbed also increases. So he plotted a graph versus x by m and pressure, and he found that graph like this, and divided into this graph divided into 3 parts. One part, second part, and this is the third part. So he divided into 3 parts, means this is the low pressure region, and this one is moderate pressure region, and this one is high pressure region. So as he discussed, the pressure increases, amount of gas adsorbed also increases. So as the pressure increases, so this graph show that as the pressure increases, the amount of gas adsorbed also increases. So at first we'll discuss about in low pressure region. So in low pressure region, the value of 1 by n